Hello and welcome to episode 12 of Collecting Disney. As you can see, I've got my family here with me. Today I've got Lizzie and Shelby and Judy and me and my son Trey is recording right now. And this last episode of Collecting Disney is going to be on the entire collection. And so each of my kids is going to talk about one of their favorite things that I have here. And I thought it'd be a fun way just to kind of go out with a bang, just to talk about all of the stuff that we have and that we've collected over the years. But the first thing that we're going to do is Judy is going to talk about some of her favorite things, and one of her favorite things is what, Jude?
Popcorn buckets.
All right, what do you know about popcorn buckets?
So this is one of my favorite popcorn buckets. This one is Christmas, and I love Christmas, and it can even light up. It has different settings. It can have the Christmas tree on. It can just have the Christmas lights on. It can have both, and it can be blinking. So this is one of my favorite ones because I love Christmas, like I said. I love Christmas trees in it, and this is one of my favorite popcorn buckets. Second, this is one of my favorites too because this is a little bit of a memory. So we were at the parks, and we just saw everyone had Simba popcorn buckets, and I love animals and Simba and all the animals and stuff like that, like I just said. And so we went and got it for $20. So this is one of my favorite ones also. And last, this is one of my favorite it's a good memory, and it's one of my favorites. We went to Walt Disney World, the 50th Walt Disney World, and
just in February this year, huh?
February,
yeah, just recently.
And we went to Magic Kingdom, and we got this one.
So Judy, why do you like collecting popcorn buckets?
I don't know. I just got used to them because I just saw I just saw them. I'm like, hey, I like those, so I just started collecting them.
One of the things I like about popcorn buckets is they help you remember good memories you've had at Disneyland. Just like Judy said, you know, like this, I remember being there with Judy for this one, and some of the other ones we have up here. I remember this having a very spicy drink in it at the time. I was standing in line on a hot day at Pirates of the Caribbean, and they put, for whatever reason, some spicy drink in there, and I couldn't find water fast enough. But popcorn buckets and drinks are a great way to have a memory, and they're Judy's favorite thing to collect. So now, Lizzie is going to talk about some of the miscellaneous odds and ends that we have that we've collected over the times, and about why she likes them.
Yeah, so, I was originally going to talk about Splash Mountain, but since my brother is talking about that, I decided to choose like a bunch of stuff that I love and I loved in this room. So, the first one is the Main Street Electrical Parade lights. I love these because I love the Main Street Electrical Parade. It's like my favorite parade, and what's really cool about these is that they were sold when the Main Street Electrical Parade was gonna get taken out in 1996 and replaced with Light Magic.
Yeah.
And and so they sold these as like a because people loved the Main Street Electrical Parade so much that it was kind of just like something to keep for them to like so much. And so
and one of the things I'll interject here, one of the things that I told Lizzie is I grew up with the Main Street Electrical Parade my whole life, so I didn't even know Disneyland without the Main Street Electrical Parade. So when they were going to take it out in 1996, I was like, what are you doing? You're taking out my favorite parade, you know? And so, like Lizzie said, they were selling these as part of a glowing away event just to kind of commemorate it. But of course, no one was too surprised when it came back again and again and again. And heck, we're going to go in a couple weeks and see it again this year. So sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
But yeah, so that's one of my favorites. Another one is these cent beads from Soaring Over California. And we have the 2-cent ones. We have the pine cent and the orange cent. And the pine cent is when you like go over the mountains and like the pine trees and stuff. And then the other, the orange cent is when you go over like the orange trees and stuff like that. And those, I love those scents so much. And so what they'll do is they take the beads and they put it next to a fan, and the fan blows the scent onto the audience. and they smell and it's really cool. And what's also really funny is they have the scent beads in Disneyland, and like to advertise mostly food and like stuff, and to make people like want to buy it, and like for like candy shops or bakeries, they'll like put the scent beads, and it's kind of funny to like lure the people in to want to buy the food. So those are one of my two favorite things that I love in this.
Yeah, those are awesome. I remember some of the smells at Disneyland. I think everyone that's a Disney fan knows some of the smells at Disneyland, from the smell in Pirates of the Caribbean to Splash Mountain to when you walk by the Candy Palace on Main Street. Like Lizzie said, you smell that candy smell and you just want to get in there and buy some stuff. So yeah, those are some fun props that we have. And I think Shelby is going to go next, and she is going to talk about our Jungle Cruise collection over here. Jungle Cruise is, gosh, I would say it's my favorite ride, but did I say that about all the rides? But Jungle Cruise is really one of my favorite rides, and I think it's one of Shelby's because we love the humor in it. But anyway, Shelby, take it away. Talk about your Jungle Cruise stuff.
Yeah, the reason why I chose this is because of the creativity and the humor that it brings to Disneyland. And when I was younger, me and my siblings created a Lego Disneyland, and Jungle Cruise was one of the rides that we made, and it was really cool because we had like the script and what the skippers said. We had it practically all memorized.
Not practically, so, you had it memorized. I couldn't believe how well you guys did. I was amazed.
Yeah, it's a really good memory for that. And yeah, so this is concept art by Mark Davis of the Jungle Cruise. It was in the Disneyland Hotel in 1960, and it was taken out in the 2000s. Mark Davis was the one who created, or that included humor in the Jungle Cruise ride. He created, or he put in, or helped put in the idea of the bathing pool with the elephants. And before, Jungle Cruise was kind of just a tour. It wasn't really, it didn't have much humor, and he was the person to include it. And so I'm very grateful for that, because the humor really makes Jungle Cruise Jungle Cruise. This over here is the leather railing wrap from Jungle Cruise.
You can see it in the picture. I don't know if it's going to show up on the camera, but right there is where it came from. It's part of the boat. Sorry, Shelby, I'll get stuck on your toes here. You go ahead.
Yeah, this was to help just guests get in and out of the boat. Yeah, they replaced it for just because they thought it was like just in need of replacement and stuff. And yeah, these are Zambezi Miss and Congo Queen.
Some of my favorite pieces.
Yeah, they're basically the names of the boat just on the top. The Congo Queen was based on its like style, was probably put in Disneyland in the 1950s, and the Zambezi Miss was put in the 1970s and was probably taken out in the late 70s.
Yeah, this one was actually given to a cast member to take it home, and it was part of his collection for a lot of years before I obtained it. But like Shelby said, this is the style that they used on opening day in 1955, but this style was also used through the 60s as well, so we don't know for sure the time period it came from, but around the 50s and 60s.
Mm-hmm. And these are the animal skins. There's the snake, the elephant, and the hyena. And usually Disney will just see that like they need to be replaced and they look a little bit old, and so they'll just strip them down and shred all of them. And these are some scraps that were salvaged. And yeah, what year were they from?
They're from the 2000s, 2010s, probably pretty recent.
Yeah. And this is the flower from the Wall Cambodia area by the Bengal tiger, and this was taken down for refurbishments and
just a remodeling.
Just remodeling.
They remodeled the area.
And yeah, that's all of the Jungle Cruise area that we have.
Yeah, I love the Jungle Cruise. It's one of my favorite attractions, like Shelby said, and there's just so much cool stuff to collect from it. It's fun to have all the stuff from it. So next, my son Trey is going to talk about the attraction that everyone wanted to talk about, because it's probably our whole family's favorite attraction. It's on this side of the room, and I tell you what, we are so bummed that Disney, if you're listening, Disney, is changing Splash Mountain. Please reconsider and keep Splash Mountain. because we love it. It's our favorite attraction, always has been. It's so happy and upbeat, the music. But anyway, Trey, talk about some Splash Mountain stuff.
Well, before I get into the really good stuff, I wanted to show off this really cool Splash Mountain watch that came out 1989.
Opening year.
Opening year of Splash Mountain, and it was $1,000. It sold for $1,000. So
Yeah, an auction, Van Eaton Galleries.
yep. And I like watches. You know, they're pretty helpful. So I mean, I guess that's just kind of fun for me anyway. And over here, these figureheads, they were also there opening day 1989, I believe. They were on the boat, but they took them off shortly after, and they redesigned it to the ones that they have today. Over here we have two thorns from the Briar Patch that you splash into, and then you got the leaves from various parts of the ride. But my favorite piece right here is the bump stop, and the reason why is because you can see me right there and Shelly right there. What I would do is I would punch it, and Shelly would get so annoyed at me, and she'd turn around and say stop, and I would be like fine, and then I'd start doing it again.
And I have to interject here because this is hilarious, but that bump stop, when I acquired it, I didn't know exactly what part of the boat it was from. I was told it was from the log in Splash Mountain, but even the person I got it from didn't know exactly where. And as soon as I told Trey what it was and showed him a picture, he's like, he knew exactly what it was. Oh yeah, that's the back of the seat, that back of the headrest, because I used to punch it to annoy my sister. He knew exactly what it was. So all I had to do was just ask my son, and he knew exactly where it came from. But funny story.
And then we have this little piece right here, which goes kind of like right in the back of the boat, which is kind of like a headrest. Just make sure you don't get too bad of a concussion whenever you inevitably get stopped and hit the boat in front of you.
That's right.
Get those log jams, you know.
Yep. So Splash Mountain, gosh, it's one of our favorite attractions. Like I said, and anytime I can acquire a piece of Splash Mountain, it's just going to preserve more of the memories that in the fun times we've had at Disneyland. But thanks, Trey. That's a good one. But now I'm just going to kind of take a little time and go around and talk a little bit about some of the different props that we have and maybe where I got them, their time period. I won't take too much time because I don't want this to be an hour-long YouTube presentation here. And if you know me, my passion is Disneyland, and so I could talk forever about it. But I have some Autopia signs that came out of Disneyland from about 5 years ago or so. One of course saying that Tomorrowland's unavailable today, and then the other one just a standard sign. This is a piece of seaweed from the Walt Disney World version of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And I know I had a good friend of mine frame it up for me really well. He does a great job. And then of course the Star Tour sign used in the early 2000s. This is a picture of what it looked like on the being used, but that's door number 4 right there. That's my Tomorrowland section. We just talked about Splash Mountain, so I won't talk about Splash Mountain, but I will talk about this piece because this was originally used on America Sings, which was one of my favorite attractions when I was a kid in the 80s. But it was also used as part of Splash Mountain because if you probably know, if you're familiar with Disney, they used a lot of the animatronics and even some of the other parts from America Sings in the Splash Mountain attraction. So this is both America Sings and Splash Mountain. We have this Mine Train Through Nature's Wonderland railroad spike acquired at the Van Eaton Gallery auction, which is also where most of these things were acquired. This is a barrel prop from Pirates of the Caribbean. It was the top of a barrel in Pirates of the Caribbean. This is a high chair down below it that was used. This one was used at the Village House restaurant, which is now called, what is it? It was Gaston's Tavern for a while, but now it's, I can't think of the name of it, I'm drawing a blank, but it's not Pinocchio's Village House anymore. And as soon as I get done filming this, I'll think of what it is. This right here is one of my favorite pieces. It's back when, in the 80s, when they were doing some work on the Adventureland Bazaar. To get there, you had to walk through Frontierland. I have some shooting gallery targets around here that were used in the Adventureland shooting gallery. And of course, I did one of my episodes in Collecting Disney on those as well. But these are, the Adventureland shooting gallery closed in 1982. And that's when a cast member Took those, what was left of them home, and this right here is special to me because this is my mom at Disneyland on her grad night. This is specifically her grad night right here. This was the year before when she was invited to go with another boy. So these are her programs from 1963 and 1964. And these are really cool. These are some cards from 1955, opening year Disneyland, that my mom wrote. Her family was away on a trip, and so she got these and wrote letters to her parents on those cards. And so I still have those as well. A lot of signage. This was a directional sign, and showing where Fantasyland and Small World were. World of Color Fast Pass. I did one of my episodes on the hand stamps of Disneyland. I still have a few left over here. This whole desk is full of just treasures that unfortunately I can't display all of it. But my dad won a golf tournament at the Walt Disney World Classic with his partner Mac McClendon back in the 70s. And this is his bracelet from that golf tournament, and his watch that he got from playing in it. And then you got a bag tag here that was his as well. The 50th, this was over the Opera House. During the 50th anniversary, they had 50 of these throughout Disneyland. This one specifically was over the Opera House. We have some of my favorite popcorn buckets as well. And I guess if you even look up higher, I have a lot of replicas of the signs that were used throughout the park in opening year and when a new attraction would open up. I just got those prints and framed and have put them up just to kind of, I just love the look of the old posters. Even though I don't have room the real posters, as you might know, are huge. And so I couldn't have room to put all the posters around here, so I just got the little replicas to put up right there. But these are fun because I really miss Bugs Land at California Adventure. I know it was just kind of an off-the-shelf amusement park type of thing, but for some reason my kids loved it, and so I loved it because of that. And these were at the base of Flix Flyers, and so I was able to acquire those from a contact out in California. It's got a Frozen Hyperion sign, a Small World wait time sign, which is one of my favorite things. The time adjusts as well on here. Gosh, I hope it's not 60-minute wait for Small World, but during the holidays it can be. I'll keep it at 10 minutes because that's where I like it. This right here is one of my newest acquisitions. It's a tire from the Monorail. It says Monorail right here. It's from the Mark IV. It's from Walt Disney World. This one actually is from the lime green one that was there, and it was sold to Bally's and MGM in Las Vegas, where it was used for a couple years there as well, before it was eventually retired. But I was able to just come across this a couple weeks ago from a good friend out there in California. We have a Fast Pass sign from Thunder Mountain, the part of the train of Thunder Mountain as well, that was used back in the 70s. A pillowcase that was sold in the 50s at Disneyland. This one was Adventureland, but they also had, I think, Fantasyland. They probably had all the lands. I've seen Fantasyland and Frontierland and Adventureland. If we come over this way, I think we showed this in the Jungle Cruise, but this is actually part of the Country Bear Jamboree Max Fur. Max from the wall of Country Bear Jamboree, along with the molding that was on the top of the building itself. I have just a couple fun little pictures. This is Blaine Gibson, and his autograph he signed it down there. Trey's gonna get down in there and show it, but hard to get that, hard to see that. But it's a cool little piece that I just love it because of the autograph of Blaine Gibson at the bottom. But moving back up here, I've got the Disneyland rules sign. This right here, the reason why I got this one, this is in 2011. This is the first year we started going as a tradition every year with my family, which is that picture right up there. So these are the prices that we had in 2011, our first year going as a family. And as you can see, part of my Disney room, every year I've taken a picture of our family there. And it's fun to see. We missed 2020 because the park was closed. But it's fun to see how all the kids grow up and how they're getting older every year, and it's just, and I have the park maps from each year underneath them as well. But this right here is what started it all, and this is one of the most special things to me. And here is this desk. This was used in the year 2000, and what it was is you would take this map right here, which you bought for, I believe it was $9.95, excuse me. And you take it around to there was 5 parts in each land that were there on opening day, and you'd get them to stamp it. You get someone in each area to stamp it, and they're at a station, And this was the Main Street station where there was a lady, in fact you can see a picture right here. This lady right here was waiting for you to bring the map, and she would stamp your map, and then at the end of the day you'd take your fully stamped map and get a pin for it. Well, this is special to me because that's my mom and I, and my mom and I had so many fun memories at Disneyland, and she has since passed away. And so my Disney collecting addiction is partly because of the nostalgia I feel with my mom, and being able to share that with my passion with my kids as well. So this is one of my most special prized pieces right here. And I just realized one of the pieces I completely skipped over is this park bench right here that I should have showed. First of all, this is one of my favorite things as well. This was here on opening day, 1955, and it was taken out in 1999 when it was replaced by a newer model. Since it's been refinished to have its original look, and this plaque has been put on it and stuff like that. But it's fun for me knowing that Walt Disney probably walked by this bench, you know, a dozen times. He maybe even sat on it, who knows, but it was there on opening day. And so that bench is special to me. A tradition of mine was, and my mom's, was to buy a figurine every time we would go to Disneyland when I was a kid. So this is my collection of figurines. I've added to it since with a couple that I've bought, in, like Mary Poppins. I just got that, you know, about a year ago. Jasmine and Raja down at the bottom. So some of those are newer that I didn't get when I was a kid, but a lot of these I got with my mom. These were my mom's official Mouseketeer Mickey Mouse Club dolls, so they're part of my collection as well. We have a trash can here from the All-Star Resort. This is special because this is where my kids and I stayed earlier this year. This was taken out during a refurbishment just before we got there. So, but that is pretty much my Disney collection in my Disney room. I have Disney spread out throughout my house, but this is my most prized stuff in here. But as I said, this has been a kind of a fun journey doing these Collecting Disney episodes, and I hope you've learned a little bit and enjoyed it, and as much as I have with my family as well. So anyway, thanks for joining me. I might have a couple bonus episodes here and there if I decide there's something worthwhile talking about, but I think this will do it for my Collecting Disney episodes. So thanks a lot for watching.